Hello Year 2 students, my name's Ella and we are at lesson 46. Today's lesson you will need your learning book, and I hope it's full of your wonderful maths work thus far. You'll need a calculator and you'll need your thinking caps on. So let's have a quick recap about what we've already done. And I'd like to have a big shout out to Oscar because he has shared his work with me from our last lessons on patterning and skip counting. I hope you can remember that, and I hope you're still practicing those as well. So thank you, Oscar. He's done some beautiful work here and underlined the missing numbers. So thank you for sharing that, and I hope yours looks something similar because we all know patterns are great fun, so's maths. All right, let's get to our number talk. And today's number talk is about our hundreds, tens and ones. And we're getting very good at this because we're frequently doing it. We're doing it in a regular way. And we're reminding ourselves that 10 of these is one of those. So let's have a look here because something quite tricky is happening. All right, so how many hundreds do we have? We have 5. Okay, so we've got 5 hundreds, and I can see that quickly by subitizing those. I could see that as a quick group of 5, 2, 2 and 1. I hope you saw that as well. Something very tricky here in the middle, isn't it? Because we know that if we've got 10 of these, we also have one of those. And within each column, we can only have 9. Only 9 will fit until 10 moves over. So what have we got here? We've got something quite large. 2, 4, 6 and 7 at the top. 2, 4, 6 at the bottom. Now if I know my doubles, which I do, 6 and 6 will make 12. And 1. So I can see I've got a little bit of an issue here. I've got 13 tens. Let's move on to the ones and make sure we've got all of our number covered. So what do we have? We have a 5, a group of 5, and a 3. 5 and a 3 is 8. We could check that if we wanted to by counting by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. Correct. Okay, so I've made this number on the table so we can see what to do next, because this is not a correct number. This is not what I can see here. I can see 5 hundreds, 13 tens and 8 ones. I know that this is not quite right. Let's make the number and work out what we're doing next. So I've made the number down here and you can see it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 hundreds. I've got 5, 5 and 3, 5, 5, 10, 13 tens and my 8 ones. And we know that this is the problem. We can't have this many in our tens column. So what do? Well, we remember that 10 of these is one of those. So 10 of these, 10 tens is one of those. 10 tens is 100. So I'll take these 10 tens, I've made my 100, and I'll place the 3 over there. So what does my number read now? Let's have a look. I have 2, 4, 6. I have 6 hundreds. I have 3 tens and 8 ones. So my number is 638. Let's write that on the board. I've taken this group and let's have a quick look. I've got 7 and 3. This group, 10 of these is one of those to make my next 100. Okay, so my number reads 638. Well done. That's our number talk for today. Let's get moving. Today's learning intention is to look at the many ways mathematical symbols can be named and how we can use them. And we'll know we can do this when we understand that the mathematical term can be represented by different words and phrases. So let's have a look at a calculator. This is the one I have. And we're going to focus on the 4 operations that we can see, the 4 buttons that we can see on our calculator. And they are addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And we have our equal sign here, which is very important too. So these are the things we're going to look at today and how we use them and what words we use when we're thinking about those. Okay, let's have a look at addition to start with. So what is addition? Here's the symbol. Addition is bringing two or more numbers and things together to make a total. And you can see that we've got some different words for addition. So we might say and or add, plus or increase. We're making numbers bigger when we put them together. Altogether, what's the sum or what's the total? So this is what it looks like, doesn't it? It's 2 and 2 is 4. Or I could use 2 and 2 all together make 4. Or I could say, let's increase 2 by another 2. It makes 4. So all these names and words are the same as addition. We're putting two things together to make a new total. Okay, so let's look at subtraction. Subtraction is taking one number away from another. So we're going to get less. And here's the symbol. And some of the words we see for this is subtract or take away, or what's less, or what's less than. We use the words minus, or what's the difference, or fewer. Sometimes people even ask, how many more do we need? And we can use that as a subtraction. So I have this, I take away that, how many more do I need? Or sometimes we even hear, what's left over? And we can use subtraction to find that out. So let's try it here. If I have 5 and we take away 2, I have 3 left over. Or if I have 3 minus 1, 3, take away that 1, I have 2 left over. Or, what's the difference? We've done a lot of this in our lessons, haven't we? What's the difference between these two numbers? What's the gap? I think you can see the difference is 2. What's the difference? So subtraction, remember, is taking one number away from the other. And when we subtract, we get less than. So let's have a look at multiplication. Multiplication can mean finding the total of a number of groups that are the same size. We've done some array work in a previous lesson where we've looked at here's 3 and here's 3 and here's 3. So 3 groups of 3 will give me 9. And that's multiplication. We're looking at different arrays. Okay, it also could mean repeated addition, but let's keep moving. Words for multiplication we might see are groups of. So I have some groups of. We might see the word multiply. We could see the word array. Lots of. Times, or a tricky one, product. What's the product? So I could have a group of 2, a group of 2, a group of 2 and a group of 2, which would give me 4 lots of 2, which makes 8. That's right. So that's an array of a 4 by 2. Let's have a look at division. Division is splitting an amount into equal parts or groups or fair sharing. And this is the symbol. Words for division that you may see are let's share these between people, or let's share these equally, and let's divide. So you can see a picture here of 3 happy little children, 12 cookies, and look, they got 4 each. So let's have a look at what that looks like. If I had 6 things and 2 people to share them with, I would share them equally. Each person would get 3 each. Okay, so great listening and lots to think about, isn't it, with the 4 operations we see on our calculator. Let's have a quick look at some worded problems so that we can match them to these things. Our first one, of course, is about pizza and why not everybody, well, most people love pizza. So let's read this together. Riley bought a large pizza which had 20 pieces, and he had 10 hungry friends who wanted some pizza. So that everybody gets the same amount of pizza, how many pieces will each person get? So this question is asking us to, it's not asking us to add things together, is it? No, it's asking us to share, and dividing or division is about sharing equally. So this question will go to the division section. Okay, let's match this one up together now. Nate has a baking tray that can hold 3 rows of 6 biscuits. How many biscuits can Nate make each time he bakes? He's got a baking tray. Let's visualise this with 3 rows of 6. 3 lots of 6. Yes, it's a multiplication. Okay, a nice array of cookies. I wonder if this one's going to be about food, and I wonder if you're getting hungry. Oh, James bought 6 books. Yesterday he read 3 books. Well done, James. How many books does he have left to read now? He's a hungry reader, isn't he? So he had 6. Let's visualise and work out what's happening in this worded problem. He had 6. He read 3. Yeah, it's not getting bigger, is it? It's getting smaller. He only has 3 more to read. So we're taking away, we're subtracting, or we're minusing. So this one matches up here. Now let's just check, because I only have 1 left. Let's just see if this does make sense. Millie collects shells on her holiday beach walks. She collects 12 shells today, 9 the next day, and 15 shells on the last day. How many shells does she have? I think the answer is a lot. But what are we doing? What symbol do we need to pick? Is this an addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Which number would I press on the calculator for all of these shells? And I think we know that they're adding. We're adding things, we're making them larger, we're increasing. So that would be addition. Okay, so it can be tricky sometimes to read a problem, a worded problem, and work out which operation I need to think about when I'm using a calculator or when I'm doing some learning in my book. Today, our reflection is that we learnt about mathematical symbols and the many ways we can describe these things: adding, taking, timesing, or sharing. Any of those words are the same for those symbols or operations. Okay, so well done to you, powerful mathematicians. I wonder what we should be doing in our learning books as a takeaway activity, and it is right behind me. Let's have some fun with our calculators. So I would like you to try these in your learning book, some calculator fun. I'd like you to put these number sentences into your calculator and find the answers, please. And look at this. Now try some of your own. When you do try some of your own, please be careful not to use big numbers that we can't really visualize or understand or even reason with. If they get really big, they're very difficult to make and think about. And just be careful when we're using these ones, because they can either get very big very quickly or very small very quickly. And we might come up with a number we don't recognize or understand. And if that happens, you'll have to try again. So if I get to something on sharing, I might start thinking about things that I do share. So for instance, I could write on my calculator 20 toys divided by 5 friends. So I'm sharing 20 toys with my 5 friends, and then I could write my number sentence. The answer is 4. So just be very careful and have some fun. Calculators are a lot of fun. Don't go too big, don't go too small, and I will see you at our next lesson. Bye for now.